All right.
Hear them.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I appreciate everyone that are here right now. Make sure you hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button so that we can be on the YouTube algorithms good side. And joining me today is IT Goatee as well as Big Johnson and JustJen. Thank you so much. A lot has been happening in the whole Laura Owen as well as Clayton Echard. I want to start off with you, IT Goatee. Bring up to speed because it's been a very lively week.
Yeah.
What has happened? What has been
So
going on?
starting a week ago yesterday, there's been a
Right.
flurry of blog posts talking about everything from criticizing the judge in how David Gingras made a news comment saying that the judge was not ruling based on fact, but based on social media influence. There was another blog post talking about SA victims criticizing anyone who believes that she may or may not have been a victim of SA and DV because that's basically her platform is standing on the idea that she's a victim and that she needs to be heard and monetized because of it. Then she wrote a love letter to the JFC cult talking about Clayton specifically and continuing to say, or basically say that he lied to me in a real estate transaction. So therefore you should not think of him as some personality to get behind. A fourth blog post that was posted 5 days ago saying when common sense was overruled, talking about how a 99% detection accuracy of HCG in your system supposedly means that you're pregnant, because when you have 5 of those tests in a row, all that means is you have elevated levels of HCG, and that does not mean that you are confirmed being pregnant. And then a fifth blog post posted 4 days ago talking about hunted by hate, surviving a vicious smear campaign, which she attacks everyone who attempts to try and catalog all of the things that she has said and done in legal filings and public postings to try and say that it is a harassment campaign from her own actions.
Oh, yeah. I cannot keep up with anything that she's doing uh, because of the sheer weight. Just because, but by the way, I'm a bit distracted today because the chat is saying that there's a bit of stuttering going back. So that's I don't know why that's happening. By the way, guys, I will try and fix that. But in regards to all of these things that are going on with Laura Owens, because what she is coming out with right now is she has released new photos and uh, uh, what was it? New photos of her actually having a pregnancy. I'm gonna put it up here. I think it's in one of her blog posts
Yep.
that she released that
That
she
was,
released to
yeah,
not long now. Hold up, let me
it
get
was
it up.
5 days ago when common sense is
Yes,
overruled.
yeah. When common sense is overall, that's the one. Thank you so much. Let me share the chat. Let me share it here. So this was one of the blog posts that was done. Now, before we read any further into this, what do you guys make of this? Do you think that this is a true event? Do you think that she is actually pregnant in this picture? Hello.
I'll let everyone else speak before me.
I'm so sorry.
100 million% no.
Why do you say that, just Jen?
I think she did these videos. We were able to track it back to, it looks like October 25th is when she recorded the videos, because one that she released had you could hear a news story in the background, and some sleuths were able to track it back to what they said on that news story to October 25th. So it does look like she did record the videos on the 25th. That was the day after her IAH hearing with Clayton Echard, where she's wearing a brown dress and she has the camera on her belly. She points the camera down lower to show her belly, and then people watching live could see that she was adjusting it. So I think the next day she put on the same dress and tried to recreate that. And when it didn't look the same as it did in the video from the court, she didn't use it. And then she decided, once she needed to prove to people that she thought she was pregnant, that's when it was released. Once Gingras was on the case and trying to prove that she thought she was pregnant, that's when this video was released.
So this is what I'm guessing from a live stream, right?
No, this would be this. She took this by herself sometime after the IAH hearing.
Okay. Damn. So she says here, picture this: a glowing advertisement for a pregnancy test. The suspense builds as a woman, eyes wide with hope, waits for those two magical lines to appear. The moment they do, her life transforms. Tears of joy, uncontrollable laughter, and exclamations of "We are pregnant" fills the air. It is a universal scene depicting the profound impact of positive pregnancy. Now, that's all she's saying. And then she goes on to say, Judge Julie and matter of the Maricopa County Superior Court seems to think that positive pregnancy does not mean what the rest of the world thinks it does. She thinks it doesn't mean that you're actually pregnant. Now, before going on further, hold up. What's going on? Oh, okay. Before going on, sorry, I had a message quickly. Before going on further, I want to ask the question here in regards to this particular picture. Apologies for this. Damn it, I had a question in my head, but I wanna ask it here. Is this the same judge that was shown the fake sonogram?
No, this is not Judge Duty. Judge Mata has been Judge Judy oversaw the order of protection that Laura requested on Clayton, and then Clayton filed an injunction against harassment claim against her, and that was under Judge Gauketsis. And then Julie Mata has been overseeing the paternity hearing. So you could see where it gets confusing, having three different judges overseeing the same parties in different actions.
Yeah, because that's I must also add, that's the one thing that we don't actually see here. We don't actually see her bring up any details of this case or why the judge did throw it out. We don't see hold up, sorry, let me try and get this up. Hold on a second. Let me continue reading this. Despite my providing the court with multiple at-home tests, a urine and pregnancy test done at the urgent care facility, and even a blood test for pregnancy done at the lab, all which came back positive, Judge Mata in essence dismissed all of this evidence as meaningless. In addition, a renewed OBGYN who delivered 22,000 babies in his career testified with 99% certainty that I was pregnant. Who is this person, by the way?
That's her expert witness, Dr. Medchill.
And what was his testimony based on? Because I'm interested to know that. What was his testimony based on?
So he is speaking from the point of a retired OBGYN and was provided a number of documents by David Gingras to basically give his expert opinion as to whether or not he or in his belief that she was pregnant with the evidence that was provided to him. And he said basically 5 pregnancy tests in a series lends to believe that he would believe that she's pregnant. And he says with 99% certainty. The problem with that statement is that that is not how statistics work. And also, that's not what the evidence shows. Taking the detection rate percentage that the pregnancy tests claim, 99% certainty, that a person has elevated HCG is one thing, but all it does is give you an indicator of pregnancy, and you would need to be able to go and get confirmation of that through a quantitative blood test and or a sonogram. And then that gives you the initial indicator as to whether or not someone is pregnant, because you should see levels at one point, and then 4 weeks later you go for another blood test and say, okay, are your levels increasing? Because if your levels are increasing, that would be, yep, you're pregnant, you're going through the normal stages of a pregnancy. Or you get an ultrasound to be like, yep, there's a tiny bean in there, so you're pregnant. The problem here is we have a lady who will go to a medical facility to get a urine test or a blood test, but refuse to go get OBGYN care. And because she refuses to get OBGYN care, it becomes significantly harder to be able to trust her, which is why in the ruling it says that Judge Mata found her uncredible because she's willing to go do many things in order to try and avoid getting proof positive that she is pregnant.
Something that she neglects to mention anywhere in this blog post, it must be added. Like, she doesn't include that little tidbit of information that IT Goatee just divulged. She says, if 99.9% certainty isn't enough, what is? I speak more about this in another one piece I wrote called When Judges Play Doctor. After a doctor confirmed that I had miscarried, basically just confirmed that there was elevated ECG levels, but we're moving on. There was no longer a need for the paternity test that I filed last August. I tried to dismiss it last December, which the judge granted, but then rescinded her ruling. Why did that happen?
Yeah, so it was really weird because in February, so she filed in January or December 28th, and then Clayton responded to her request for dismissal, and she didn't get around to ruling on those until the very beginning of February, and that was after her supposed deposition, which she failed to attend to, and the judge issued a ruling and said, yeah, we're going to dismiss it. And then like the same day, there was another one that said it's denied. And we were like, now, wait a second. How in the world? So then if you watch the status hearing, you'll hear the lawyers be like, there was a spot where it was granted, but then it was dismissed or denied. So can we get some clarity on that? And she goes, oh yeah, everything is still ongoing, so we don't know exactly how or why it said that it was granted, unless it was just somebody mistyped something, or maybe it's like maybe they have a form or like a web page and they go, okay, denied, and like, crap, I meant to hit and it went granted. So
I hear what you mean.
So we don't know what it is, but they clarified it, and then they set the evidentiary hearing for June, and then now we're here.
After a doctor confirmed that I had miscarried, there was no longer a need for you read that already. After extensive motions were filed and a brief evidentiary hearing on June 10th, her ruling came down on June 18th, sanctions attorney fees, despite neither the alleged father nor I being represented by lawyers at the time. I filed to withdraw my petition to English to establish paternity. Sorry about that. And a referral to the Maricopa County's Attorney's Office for possible prosecution. Why? According to ruling, petitioner acted unreasonably when she initiated litigation without merit, basis, or merit. Furthermore, the court found my actions were unreasonable and uncreditable due to my failure to seek in-person care for Iris pregnancy. Yeah. Judge Matter even verified the positive pregnancy tests multiple times as facts in findings of fact. However, is my filings the case without basis or merit or unreasonable? Furthermore, the ruling declared my petition premature at best, even though there are no set standards for what constitutes as premature petition. The double standard. To fully grasp the injustice of this ruling, consider how Arizona typically handles. But I'm not gonna read all of this. I'm not gonna read all of this. I'm not gonna read all of this because
a lot of this just rehashes statements that they've already made and things that her lawyer has stated in his blog posts, just in different and longer-winded ways.
Except that what they haven't. Okay, so we have to go through this a little bit to kind of filter through a bit more of the details here because here hold up one second, let me get up here, because this is her latest article here, and she is talking about surviving a vicious smear campaign done by the Justice for Clayton court. Now, I don't think I'm part of this court. I just came onto this case a while ago. Why is she calling you guys, Big Johnson, I'll go with you. Why is she calling you guys a bunch of cultists? What's going on there?
She's calling anybody who doesn't believe her story or who questions what her truth is a part of this cult. She's refusing to acknowledge that there's thousands of people interested in this case because of her, because she went to the Sun, and all of us are speaking up in our own way and trying to do what we can to get this case and the guys the justice they need. So because there's been such a wave of people going, wait a second, what's going on? We want to dig in. It's no, you guys are a cult. You guys are this, whatever language she can use to make us look like the bad guy, whether it be pond scum or cockroaches or pests or cult. She's labeling the people who side with justice with these negative connotation words. It's her word to sum up anyone who's seeking the truth. And it's quite offensive. And kind of humorous, I'll actually say. It's offensive because of what the word means and what it comes from. But it's also kind of humorous to be able to look at that and go, that is how many people do not believe her story. That is how strong this case is, and how, to me, common sense, it's like, there's clearly a liar and there's clearly a truther here. Her way of getting sympathy and twisting the narrative back in her favor is by labeling us with egregious names. And you would be considered part of the cult, according to her. Anyone who does not blindly side with her, she labels with the cult aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I must put out most of these articles from myself are code reads, except for the first one here that we were doing not last time. We were I literally just forgot the name. Like I said, most of the articles that I'm reading here from myself are code reads. So you guys have to like literally fill me in on some of the background. Again, I'm just coming in, so
you're good.
Some of this go on.
Oh, so like a good example of this is Omar, the Tilted Lawyer. He came in and was very trying to be neutral in his understanding of the case, and got emails from both David Gingras and from Laura asking about the case, and then he responded back a couple of times, trying to get further clarifications on things, and he very quickly found out that things didn't add up. And as a family law attorney, for him, going through all of the pieces of evidence that were found, and he's just like, I think he even said that he kind of felt gaslit and trying to be, once he started understanding what all of the evidence really showed, and then going through the injunction against harassment, the orders of protection, he's like, yeah, this is just not making sense. So then in one of these articles, she makes claims about these law tubers who are just trying to get big on her story. It feels a slight against Omar, because she was initially excited that someone was going to take a neutral aspect or a neutral look at her story, and then come to find out he comes to the same conclusion that a reasonable person would find, and then she instantly just throws him off. Like, no, you didn't side with me, so therefore you're just trying to get money off of YouTubers and whatnot.
What does she make of Lord Week Mike then, or Boss Attorney Bree? Like, are they not allowed to have their? Are they also making money from this case? Like this money that's so weird to me. I'm sorry, you can't call us. At some point, you gotta just accept and owe the L. You can't call everyone that covers your case as gripsters, money grab makers, because if this is not. I don't know. Is this a case to make money on? Like, like only recently the case just got national attention, wasn't that? Isn't that with Big Six News? I think it was.
There's a smaller group of YouTubers that have been covering it significantly. One that I'm most familiar with is Megan Fox. She's been covering it since about January.
Yeah.
That Umbrella guy, he's been covering it with her about the same time. Right. David Neal's been following this since October of last year, and Dave has put out numerous episodes, and she gets real mad at Dave Neal. She'll call him out by name and say he's made thousands of hours of content smearing me, harassing me, all these things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, no money would be made anywhere if she hadn't gone to the Sun originally. If she didn't bring this conversation into everyone's homes, no one would be covering it. No one would be making money. And the money being made, and from what I know, is minuscule compared to what people have spent to invest into this case and to protect themselves in this case. But right. I find it annoying and a distraction every time she brings up the money people are making off of this, because she opened that door for everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, like oh gosh, there is echo on your end, I think, Big Johnson. Anyway, no, you're fine. I was gonna say shout out to everyone that's locked in here, 46 live viewers. Wow, that's my best ever. I appreciate why. Yeah, it is. No, wait, on this channel, yes, it is. It is. Thank you so much, by the way, everyone that's tuning. Make sure you hit that like button as well. I'm gonna do my best to go through these articles as quickly as possible. So let me just go ahead and read this one here. So, okay. They don't just want to defame me; they want to annihilate me. Actually, most of them, I'm pretty sure, just want to bring the truth out. They attack my ability to work, to pursue my passions, and to hold on to any shred of a decent reputation. This constant harassment has shattered my mental health. I cry every day, overwhelmed by the sheer cruel and malice directed at me. What have you guys done to this? What is she saying that you guys done? This go far beyond cyberbullying. This is a calculated, vicious assault aimed at dismantling every aspect of my existence. It's hard to not feel hopeless most days. What is this about? IT Goatee?
So the big thing. the big thing about this is she, like I said before, she's built this platform that she has on being a DV survivor and supposed SA survivor, and you're not going to be able to try and make those claims or stand on that platform if it turns out that you fraudulently accuse these men of these actions. And even though a court granted orders of protection on 3 of your ex-boyfriends, if it's come to find out that you did this to one guy fraudulently, then it's worthwhile to investigate the other aspects of your past relationships to find out if you've made fraudulent and false statements about these men. And if it turns out to be true, then you're standing on a false premise as a business model to be able to try and garner sympathy from a larger public when you're just a fraud.
Right. Absolutely. One second. Okay. Moving. Right here is. Hold up. Yeah, right here are some of the emails that she has said that she has received from all of this. She says reporting me to the United States Equestrian Federation, which is her this was her profession, right? She's an equestrian, right? Or is she just her hobby?
Yeah,
Hello? Yeah.
she's a writer, and she works through a trainer to be able to do these shows. And a part of being a part of the United States Equestrian Federation is that you agreed to a code of conduct. And if the federation doesn't know that you may have violated their code of conduct, and someone submits a request to them to say, hey, you should look at this, then that would be the appropriate remedy for them to try and understand that is someone who does not meet our standards participating in our federation. And she's basically saying that you're attacking my hobby of riding to be, even though it's,
Mhm.
If I was a part of some professional board or group, and I had a personal candor problem or something that I was doing that was outside of the scope of that board role or responsibility, and I wasn't meeting those ethical obligations, then people have a right to bring those issues to light.
Right. Absolutely. Right. So my ex false claims of taking video of me falling off, despite my ex claims that he took and owns this video from a whole show in Southern California. He was actually 100 millions of miles away in San Francisco. It was taken. I'm guessing this is one of her claims back in 2018 in regards to getting abused, where they were saying that she wasn't abused at this point. If I'm right, Big Johnson, we went through that last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
This
does
is
my
Michael.
microphone sound?
Yeah. It
Better?
sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I changed it out. So yeah, we went through this a little bit last week. Kind of funny that, Brad, you might be able to clarify, but my question when it comes to this video is, did Mike ever come out and say that he took the video and he distributed it? I know like that's what people talking on this story speculated, that like it came from him, he took it himself, but I don't know if he's ever come out and actually said that. We acquired the video and it has been passed around, but her blaming it again on Mike is one of those like.
So I don't know the genesis of the video. If the video was created by her mother and sent to Mike, her mother would still own the supposed copyright of it.
Yeah.
So if Mike had received the video and passed it along, and then someone uploaded it with permission from Mike, that would still fall under the copyright owner's ability to DCMA it.
So why is she crying? Why is she crying? Okay, go on.
The bigger concern is that it's been found that she has a knack for falling off her horse, and whether we don't know for what reason. Megan Fox's cousin is also an equestrian and says that her form is terrible, but I can't make any factual claims on how good or not she is at riding because I have no experience with riding. But the concern comes that she claimed epilepsy, and in her TEDx talk, she says that her epilepsy came as a result of the DV against her from Mike Maraccini. Then we started digging into the text messages between her and Mike and find out that she said that she had a seizure the weekend that there was a horse show in California that she was at and participating in. And that was the first time that she ever claimed a seizure. And then we know that was after the car accident that she was in an Uber. And it wouldn't be until I think a year or two that she files a suit against Uber for the car crash, and then they settle out of court.
Okay.
But the idea is, no one is under HIPAA, we've never seen a true record of her having suffered or received an epilepsy treatment. Anything that we've seen already has just been self-reporting to someone saying that she has epilepsy, and then they go, okay, well, if you say you have epilepsy, that's one of the ways that she's able to get these records that say she has different things, is because if it's based on a self-report versus a something that's been diagnosed and investigated, like the ovarian cancer, I know the JustJen and others have been looking at the timeline for when some of these documents have came about, and we know that she supposedly went to get this cancer screening done for her supposed ovarian cancer, and those documents we believe to be fraudulent, but those at least would come from a diagnosis saying that she would have it, whereas if you're just self-reporting epilepsy, and then JustJen, do you remember which document it was that she went and saw Dr. Zeman and he said, I told you to go get an MRI and you didn't. I told you to start taking this medicine and you didn't. Like, that was a really weird report that he made.
Yeah, that was in the 149-page document that included her affidavit and
in the med show report,
all the medical records. So it's within that document.
Yeah.
I will say about the ovarian cancer, she supposedly had a test, and it's been shown that test she got supposedly in July, a cancer test that was high. Part of the title of that document says HCG, but then it also says CA 125 test for the ovarian cancer. So it looks like she ran that through Photoshop and changed that from an HCG test document to a cancer. And then she didn't produce it until I think August 12th is when August 12th or August 13th is when she ran it through Photoshop and then sent it to Mike. And also back to the epilepsy, she claims to have had 3 seizures in May of 2017. And during that month, I think she was in maybe 3 or 4 horse shows during that month. There was like no break. And I think if you're trying to find out what the cause of epilepsy is for, you may not be cleared to ride in horse shows. I'm sorry, seizures, if you're trying to find the cause of seizures. So that would be questionable. One more thing, in those documents that went to MedChill, it says, there's a comment in there that says that she reported, I think that she had generalized epilepsy, and the doctor makes a note that they notified her that that type of epilepsy that she claimed to have would not be caused by a brain injury.
Oh, that's interesting. So she doesn't even know what she's suffering from, basically. Oh.
Every week it's
Do you-
something new and fictitious.
I was about to ask, do you guys think that this one might actually stick the epilepsy angle? But turns out it might just be another one of these puff of smoke that has been waved here. So she says it. Yeah, the origin in regards to her epilepsy. Says it's hard to know where to start with this one. I didn't land on my head. I landed on my feet. I didn't go to hospital afterwards. I don't know what that got to do with anything. JFC, Justice for Clayton. I sued Uber, but never got a cent from them and never referred to my epilepsy or surgeries. Sorry to burst your bubble. And I falsely claimed that my ex strangled me. And I falsely claimed that my ex strangled me, as if anyone besides me and Mike were there for every moment of our relationship between 2016 and 2017. We are the only ones. We are the only two who know what happened, and guess what? He knows what he did to me. People that say this, I don't know. I have a hard time believing him. Anyway, moving on. Conveniently, he says that my epilepsy was a result of this fall and not his abuse. Really, the fall caused it. My grand mal seizures happened in 2017, and again, this video was taken in June 2017. Bottom line, my epilepsy was not a cause from a fall from a horse, and I'm guessing that's what JustJen just explained. So it's going to say reporting me to permits department. What is permits department, by the way? Hello?
Yeah, so your all of the land in under the control of certain city governments has zoning, and
Right.
that the zoning for a particular spot may not allow for certain types of activities. So she has a horse farm, and someone, don't know who, in the community made a report to the local zoning board to say this person is doing commercial horse work in your town and may not have the permit in order to be able to do that. Well, she counteracts that narrative and says that, well, only retired horses live at the farm with me in Scottsdale. We don't sell any horses in Arizona. My farm that we do any of our selling in is in Florida. And it's like, well, that's really weird. Why would you be selling horses out of Florida and living in Scottsdale? But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Okay, so reading on, one second, let me just change this here. So reading on, he says, trying to stop me from selling items on Facebook. Here, I was simply just trying to sell some horse like an apparel, and JFC Code decided to jump in and sabotage my efforts. They have tagged my post on Facebook saying that I scam overriders of items I'm selling. This is completely baseless and part of a coordinated effort to ruin my ability to make money. What is she alluding to here? I'm quite new to this. Big Johnson, go ahead.
So
okay. So people have seen gone onto her Facebook and seen posts that she's posted items for sale on the marketplace, and they're posting comments and replying to it, essentially saying, do you know who Laura is? I wouldn't trust buying from her. I believe she posted some screenshots in this Medium article. So essentially, she's upset that people want everyone interacting with her to know about this aspect of her life.
She also wrote a cease and desist on Facebook in a reply to someone that was trying to bring attention to her shenanigans in a Facebook comment.
Oh wow! Sorry, IT Goatee. What were you gonna say?
well, one of the things about these posts is that she's putting these items out there, but then she's also including a narrative in the description and saying, I miscarried and I had gained weight, so I no longer need these items that were sized for me when I was bigger. And so in these Facebook posts, someone who may not be interested in purchasing it will still send her sympathy because
Right.
they want to try and provide a kind word to someone who may have miscarried, except if it's false. And people are pointing at that falsehood out and saying, hey, she's lying to you in saying that she's miscarried. And no, we know that she was bigger than what she is now. That's her own lawyer made her go do a twirl up on at the witness stand to show off how thin she was and make it known that she was 133 pounds at her heaviest, and then now she's down to 91. So we know that she was bigger, but it's a matter of the reason, rationale, and trying to get the sympathy from other people in claiming miscarriage.
Right.
She was also, I think she was selling like extra small size boots and pants and stuff. And so people were questioning her how she could lose weight and get smaller than extra small.
Yeah. Justice for Victims says, how old is she again? And why is she in competition with teenagers? Oh, wow. Boots on the Ground says, her seat while riding is terrible. She bangs against the saddle. She also is riding horses that are too advanced for her. Falling equals falling a lot. Yeah. The try is having fun with this one. The try is having let me just read a couple more. Joseph, my thought is she is medically cleared to ride. I would think she won't, but we have seen many have we seen any claim of epilepsy on medical records? This is true because this would be something that is reflected in your multiple medical records, as epilepsy does need a lot of attention. You can't go to certain places if you have epilepsy, so I'm pretty sure she would have some form of records to present. As she presenting that to show her epilepsy, any form of record whatsoever.
We have not seen one. We've heard tangentially that if you have epilepsy, you're not allowed to drive in the state of Arizona. And we don't believe that she has a driver's license. But it's also been speculated that in the settlement of the Uber accident, she was given lifetime free Ubers.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So that would aid her claim. No, you still need some form of like something in your medical report. Like that's not enough. I'm sorry. Go on.
I think the way she's getting away with not showing us a medical record for epilepsy is per the court HIPAA release request. It only goes back. I think we got approved for 4 years, and the standard's 5 years. And she's claiming she was diagnosed when she was like 17. So farther than that 5-year range, which then we wouldn't have any diagnosis paperwork or medical documentation about the epilepsy. But to this day, and even when asked, she has not provided any medical documentation, medical records, doctor notes that have been factual and shown that she's actually seen a doctor and didn't just cancel an appointment. And none of them, aside from being patient reporting, say note the epilepsy. So I don't think we'll ever see it because she uses loopholes and lies.
You said 17. She was diagnosed with PCOS at 17.
Thank you. Okay.
The epilepsy would have been 2017, and then the other issue is that we know she has a history of photoshopping medical records. So even if she was to generate something right now and say, "Here's my epilepsy record," it's not from the doctor, and we wouldn't be able to trust it. So she's just digging herself into this hole that where her history of lying and fabricating evidence, which she's currently being investigated for by the county prosecutor for perjurious statements and tampering with evidence, has continued to create this toilet bowl of a scenario where it just doesn't work well for her.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much, everyone that tuned in. By the way, we're now at 73 live viewers. Wow, thank you so much, everyone that tuned in. Make sure that you hit the like button as we continue on with this. So let's go on to the TEDx talk. It says, obviously, because the Justice for Clayton cult, you gotta come up with a better name. To be honest, I'm not part of a cult. Fuck, f that noise. I'm sorry. Knows what I am saying is misinformation in quotation marks in my TEDx talk. They are obsessed with getting it taken down. Why? Well, of course, they just know that my ex was my victim and that I wasn't abused ever. I mean, because they were when we dated in 2017. Do they not realize how ridiculous they sound? My talk is entirely based on a real woman's account of how my ex treated me on a plane ride to Iceland, and the verbal abuse she heard. Here's a link to to her declaration, which she gave in support of me obtaining the DVRO I have had against him in California since 2018, and she goes on to post more pictures of whatever this is. Um, but yeah, and now she goes on to talk about the Star Company. Why is she bringing this one up, by the way? Hello?
I don't know about the startup.
Yeah.
Because people have been talking about because it's when you register a business, the idea that if you would register it in your state versus registering it in other states or incorporating it elsewhere, it's not uncommon to register companies in Delaware because they're seen as a very business friendly environment. So I think some people were saying that she was running and operating the business out of Arizona without having registered it or something. But I'm not entirely sure what the concern would be there, because it's not uncommon to have a business owned and operated outside of it and then have you as either an employee or the director of the company working elsewhere.
Okay.
All these different bullet points on this Medium article, they're hitting the different things that have been discussed privately on private Discord and Patreon servers about her in this case. So when I read this article, I looked at it as, oh, she's showing us that she's listening and seeing everything everyone in the cult is saying about her. So these are more of a like, oh, woe is me, they're trying to hurt my company and my writing, and they're posting these videos of me falling down. And so it's her asking for sympathy and empathy from her readers, but also pointing out, I'm hearing everything you guys are saying. And these things are things people discussed in the different servers. Well, she started this keybacker company with her sister. Let's see how legit she is. And the drive to look into these things isn't to destroy her life. It's to look into, okay, well, if she's expecting all these men in her life to be held at this really high standard, is she living up to the same standard that she's demanding from people? At least that's how I took it.
Right. Okay, 1 second. It's a passion project of mine. If my name was never associated with it, I never earned any money from it. I would absolutely be thrilled as long as it helped people. I'm genuinely trying to make a positive impact. I refuse to let cruelty and harassment of the JFC court silence me. I am determined to reclaim my life and dignity. For those who have been swayed by their relentless defamation, I ask you to look deeper. I have never lied about being pregnant ever. The medical tests don't lie. I am not the. How come you won't take yourself to the doctors then? Anyway, moving on. I am not the person these JFC core members make me out to be, and everyone who really knows me knows that I don't even know you, and I'm very very scared. I'm looking at that sideways. I'll put it like that. So this is to all of us. This is to every JFC core member. Like this, it is you, IT Goatee, JustJen, Big Johnson. I am a new recruit of this all hail Clayton cult. So this goes to me too. It says, you need to look in the mirror and question your motives. And what drives you want to spend your time trying to destroy the existence of a stranger in any way possible. When some of you have traveled to the evidentiary hearing, I wasn't there, so and saw me in person, you just smiled and didn't have the courage to say a word to my face. You are cowards hiding behind your screens. So I don't want
the people who went to Arizona didn't want to get they didn't want to get possibly sued for harassment or anything. So people left her alone, which was exactly what she would have wanted in the normal case. So you're damned if you talk to her, and you're damned if you're just ignoring her. So, make up your mind.
Yeah. Go on.
Her safety was her big concern. She kept bringing that up. I mean, they had the SWAT team sweep the area. She was very safe, and for her to now spin it and say that, no one tried to talk to her. I was face to face with her at one point. We were inches away. She didn't try and talk to me either. So why is it on everyone else to engage in a conversation, Laura? You could have said hi to me.
You see, Big Johnson seems like a nice, lovable person. Why didn't you say hi? I don't want you to move on and find another stranger to vilify. Okay, no one deserves what you have put me through. But for some of you, it's about making money off the daily videos you make about me. I'm not monetized. I don't know what my incentive is for doing this. For others, it's about the community you have built around this twisted cause. You have no idea how this feels, the toll it takes on a person's mental health, and the destruction it causes in their life. I mean, she would have a point if these people did not have anything of note to actually show to people and be like, yo, this is how she's lying. I don't think anyone would follow a trend or follow somebody that they know is lying to them. Do you know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to take if what you guys are saying are all untrue, right? What you guys are doing are all untrue, as she's making out to be. I don't know how you can find so many people, like lawyers, on top of that, to look at this case and then be like, oh yeah, she's full of it. I mean, three lawyers already, right? I forgot the the name of one. Loto with Mike Boston Bree and Nilted Knight of his name is Jilted Knight or something like that.
Tilted Lawyer,
that's the one. Flipping neck. What was I thinking? Tilted Lawyer. That. So you've got all those people looking at it, as well as Megan Fox and also Dave Neal. Again, I don't think they would look at this if there was nothing here to look at, if that makes sense. I'm very surprised. How far do you think she will keep this up?
She will keep doing this until I think the appeal gets denied, and then if for whatever reason she decides she's going to take it to the Supreme Court and it gets denied again, then she's going to have to be civilly sued for defamation, because she is going to continue spouting these things off until she gets told that you are spotting falsehoods about people and you need to stop doing it. Because the one thing about that that last little bit from the previous article is that she says all of these people are doing these terrible things to me, but she doesn't realize that it's the one person, her, who did terrible things to these three men, and the lack of self-awareness of getting these orders of protection against people and destroying their lives, their ability to get jobs and things like that. But she's claiming, oh, all these people are trying to make it so that I can't get jobs and whatnot. No, it's holding you accountable for your own actions, for the things that you've done to these three guys with no consequence.
Yeah, right. Right. Absolutely. Roy,
in this,
sorry, go on, Jen.
She says I've never lied about being pregnant, but she started fabricating documents, medical documents, as early as June 27th, 2023. Dave, on one of his live streams, shared the email that she had sent Clayton and his dad, and she sent that email on June 27th, and she fabricated medical appointment, and like, I don't have it in front of me to remember exactly what she said, but it's in the email. She explains what happened at the appointment, and then in this obviously fabricated document, she says she received an ultrasound. It showed one gestational sac, and that they let her leave the clinic with abortion pills because she couldn't decide if she wanted to take them or not. So before she's ever even claimed to have, the July 7th ultrasound, which was switched to July 2nd, and then in court she said it was June, like the end of June and July 2nd. So I mean, she can't keep anything straight. We can't keep anything straight. But she started lying and fabricating documents, the end of June, a month after she says that they hooked up.
Yeah, and also just to go on to the next article here, it says, "Dear JFC Code, let's talk about your too honest leader." So now she's going to talk about Clayton Echard. Let's talk about honest Abe. I mean Clayton. You chant he has never lied to us. He's too honest. So again, I would need you guys to help me pass through this one. So meanwhile, because I have admitted to lying in the past, never about being pregnant, what did she lie about?
What did she not lie about?
What is she trying to reference here that she has admitted to lying about? IT Goatee, I think you're muted by accident.
Yep. I got it. So she admitted to altering an HCG test that was sent to Clayton and Dave Neal, and she admitted to editing the initial Planned Parenthood sonogram to change the date, the name, her name at the top of the document, and that's the one that really caught her, because she originally said, "That's my name at the top. I just changed the facility because I didn't want Clayton to go to the facility and try and harass them about it." But then she said, "I didn't change anything else." Well, then now she's claiming that she went under a pseudonym or anonymously. And then how would you go anonymously and then have your name at the top of the sonogram? You don't. So
so it's not just a little white lie, like, hey,
no.
no, this is actually major lie that would actually put someone in prison.
Well, she calls it minor perjury or a minor misstatement or whatever her lawyer gets her to try and say. But no, it's lying and perjurious and falsifying documents.
Right. If I lied once, I must be lying about everything, which is you treat me like I'm Pinocchio while conveniently ignoring that your saint hasn't exactly been a beacon of truth yet you don't hold him to the same standard because he has never lied, right? Wrong. Let me set the scene. Imagine you're excited about diving into real estate investing. You spend a year studying at Pace Morby's methods, finally building up the confidence to invest. You reach out to an agency you find on Instagram that specializes in seller financing, not to work with any specific person. But because they understand your goals, you don't hear back for a month. You still haven't found a realtor to do this with, and you're scrolling around for one. Then you see that someone named Clayton Echard is tagged with the company you reached out to a few weeks prior. You check out his LinkedIn and decide to send him a message to see if he can help. He writes back and says he can. So this is going back through the history of how they met. We had a long call, and Clayton said Clayton seemed like the perfect fit for an agent. He grasped my investment goals and knew the kind of properties that would turn into profitable profitable short-term rentals. I trusted him to guide me through my first couple of purchases. I was excited, optimistic, and ready to conquer the world. Now imagine trusting him with 1.1 million offers for 2 investment. So this is I'm guessing when they went on to buy the whole real estate. This is when they first met and on all those things, and this is when all that timeline that she went on to say that he essayed her and lied, like got her pregnant, and then it was essay. So they are sexy pregnant, and now it was essay. So this is going through all of that.
Well, so it's not even going through the SA aspects of it. This is just the real estate deal, and then it goes to the first few weeks of understanding what was being presented to him. And he said he wanted her to come over, and then she was presented with a pregnancy test to take, and she goes, "That's fraudulent. You're making these outrageous claims, or you're asking someone to do something under false pretenses, and therefore it's a lie." It's like, no, not really. And it was only really to you. It's not like he's lied to the community of people who have gathered around him to try and support justice.
There is an email that she sent him at some point where she said that she offered to take the pregnancy test as soon as she got to his apartment. So there was no coercion.
Okay, so this is the video that she had. This is the video that she had tagged into the Medium article.
Offers, and she approved of those offers.
Yeah, she signed off on them.
And did you send those offers to
This is from his deposition in regards to this to the paternity, isn't it? Okay.
the owners?
I did not.
Which was released before
Did you
the
inform my
evidentiary hearing.
client that you had sent those offers to the owners?
I told her that I sent it, yes.
You lied to my client.
Absolutely. For good reason. She had no...
And Mr. Echard, I apologize. There's no question in front of you. I'm going to ask you to answer my questions.
To actually do the
I'm
deals.
going to ask you to answer my questions.
You're not going to talk over me.
Mr. Echard, this is a deposition.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you questions, and I'll ask that you answer those
And
questions.
I'm going to talk, and you're going to listen as well.
This is not a podcast. I'm going to ask that you answer my questions.
Okay.
Gosh.
You testified, or excuse me, you stated during your interview, the podcast that you referenced earlier, quote, "I told her I submitted them when I didn't, and technically I did violate my fiduciary duties." Do you recall that?
Yes.
What fiduciary duties do you believe you violated?
To be transparent and truthful with the client.
And you weren't transparent and truthful with your client, is that correct?
Yes,
Just
for
because
good
he
reason.
didn't submit some
In fact,
information.
isn't it also true that when my client asked you if there had been a response in relation to those 2 offers, that you doubled down on your lie and you told her that you hadn't yet heard back?
Yes.
Okay, but why is it important? Like, what's this lie got to do with this lie here that she's telling?
All it is it's saying, because we've caught her in...
You are muted. So, sorry, go on. So go on, IT. Go on, IT. Sorry about that.
Because we've caught her in multiple lies, she thinks that because he's lied to her once, that automatically means that we shouldn't take his word, because he was faced with a terrible situation in dealing with her.
That's why. Just because he didn't submit. Okay, that's fair enough. So, sorry, go ahead, Big Johnson.
Just to add to that, it's all they have. All they have on Clayton's poor behavior in this entire case is, before things ever escalated, he lied to her about a real estate deal to get her to leave him alone, or to minimize her reactions to it. He admitted to that. She did file with the, whatever the acronym is for the real estate board, and they took appropriate actions and settled that claim. But this is all she has to say that Clayton is a bad man. So this is what she's using. And she's beating it like a dead horse, because it does not hold the weight of his one lie in the conversations before anything escalated to filing paternity cases is nowhere near the egregious lies that she has told every step of the way. But that's all I got.
Right. Moving on. Clayton was questioned by my former about isn't it okay? Before you've been through this, my bad. So now this is the last, if I'm not mistaken. This should be the last one. Uh, no. Wait, this one. So that was the last one. Uh, hold up. So, hold up. Let me try and find. There is one more here. Because I want to talk about David Gingras for a second. Gingras, I don't know what
Gingras.
His name is hard to pronounce, I'm not gonna lie. But he has
Imagine
been
us in the community. We all never understood how he wanted it to be presented because he never corrected anyone about it. So we all thought it was Gingras, and come to find out, no, he pronounces it Gingras. Like all of the AI song tools have tried to tell us that it's Gingras, and we're like, no, we got to change the text to make it sound exactly like this.
okay. So his tweet here says, "Did you know the state of Arizona has no power to prosecute alleged crimes committed outside of AZ, with small exceptions for conspiracy, etc. Some people just ignore laws they don't like, but one is clear and one is easy to understand." What is he referring to here? Because I saw this and I was kind of taken aback in a bit. Like, what is he referring to there, IT Goatee?
So we don't know specifically what he's referring to. It could be the fact that she believes that she got the sonogram in California and edited it. The problem is that everything that we've known so far is that she's edited these documents at her house, not while on the road in California. So the fact that she got the sonogram and brought it back home to edit makes no difference where she got the sonogram. It's a matter of she edited it and sent it to the court.
Okay.
And he'll claim that it was never submitted to the court. And I've mentioned to him multiple times, no, you did, in an affidavit filed on April 16th or executed on April 16th. So it's really confusing as to what he's trying to do, unless what he's trying to say is that they're going to try and punish her for any misstatements that she made to Mike Maraccini, which would be well outside of Arizona's authority because their relationship was based and centered in California.
Okay. Let me get this last one. Oh gosh. And there is also what up? Oh gosh. Okay. And there is I think it's here when he posted in regards to the post-trial update. He posted it on June 19th, and which we're gonna go on to here. It's on his blog. Before I do go on to that, I just want to read. Dr. Hines, do you have Chris Jenner? Thank you. Do you have Venmo? I can send super chats to quote unquote. I appreciate this. I don't have Venmo, unfortunately. I do have Cash App, which I do have Cash App. So if that, if Cash App does work for you, you can send it through Dr. Hines official. That should be the thing. Let me try and put it into the chat for you to see. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's there. Thank you, Random Girl, for putting that there. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate anyone that does want to support financially. I truly do. It does help out a lot, and I appreciate you three for being here to actually break this down for me, because for someone like myself trying to get up to date, it is hard to keep up. And I can't imagine, and I'm thinking I'm tanking this stream because I'm like, oh gosh, I actually know nothing about this case. Without these guys being here, I would be like, I don't know how I would navigate this, but when I am up to date, hopefully I can provide a bit more into this, because again, I feel like I am not contributing as much as you guys are doing here, because I'm just trying to like understand what's going on outside because I am here, like I've seen the timeline leading up to all of this. I've seen a lot of the evidence going against her, and I just know that some of the things that she has even claimed is just not scientific. It's just not scientifically possible. Like even, like, and I am, again, all that you guys are doing, like, to go on people's podcasts and, like different lives to like kind of break it down for people to understand, is really really helpful, and providing a lot of contextual information as well, that I don't know, but other people tuning in may not know as well. So again, I appreciate you guys, breaking this down, and doing all this. So it says, as far as I can tell, three types of people are reading this post. This is David. This is actually him writing this, right? Not Laura Owen. This is actually it's actually him. Okay.
So that's the funny thing, is that Laura posts these blog posts, but that her and her lawyer seem to write in very similar aspects. So, but the sort of the out of the cuff nature of responding to things for Laura, I think she's either copying bits and pieces from his blog post and then using them in hers, or he's editing them to make sure that they're good before they're published.
Okay. So basically, the lawyer is basically her PR guy. All right.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So, let me go on to read here. It says, as far as I can tell, three type of people are reading this code: members of the Clayton HR personality cult, normal folks who are interested in lawsuits and legal procedure, maybe reality TV, and Judge Matter and our dad, allegedly, but hopefully not. This post is only for folks in category 2. All others can stop reading now. These comments are not for you. Okay, now let's get to it. About 24 hours ago, the court issued the ruling that was 99% favorable to Clayton. The judge did not vacate the order of protection, so that's the only issue Clayton lost on. I think we went through this last week. Yeah, if this is victory for Clayton, as justice been served, will Laura end up in jail? Am I embarrassed I wouldn't kick my ass in court? I don't know. What is he referring to here?
Well, he's self acknowledging that wouldn't it kicked his ass in court, which I think is pretty funny.
Wouldn't it would be the lawyer? So fully understanding the answers to those questions begins with a few important points. First, Clayton has won a battle, but not the war is not even close to being over. What evidence could they have to present that would win this war for Laura Owens?
I don't know.
Do they have
The
anything?
problem is that Gingras has been saying that all they needed was their day in court, and they would present the one piece of evidence that they've got that'll solve this whole thing. But when they had their time to present their case, they didn't have anything new, breathtaking, or bombshell. They were just repeating the same old things that they've been saying in motions.
Why can't Laura just drag herself to the hospital and just take a pee test and just, like, why can't she do all these things?
We don't want her to take a pee test. She will go and get pee test 10 times out of 10. The problem is she won't get a proper ultrasound. As soon as she got a proper ultrasound, then she would have proven her case by Woodnick's expert standard of getting a clinical pregnancy, because you get the indicator of pregnancy, then you get the confirmation from an ultrasound, and then you're done. You win. You have a pregnancy. But she can't be bothered to do that because she's doing everything in her power to avoid doing that.
In court, she said, I mean, all along, she's had one ultrasound,
Right.
which is the one she's produced showing twins, quote unquote. And so now she says she got it at an LA Planned Parenthood using a pseudonym. I believe LA Planned Parenthoods have a patient portal, so she could easily use that pseudonym to log into her patient portal and pull up, if not the ultrasound image, then the report from the ultrasound. It doesn't seem that hard.
Yeah.
It's hard when they don't exist.
That is true. That
And
is true.
it's even harder when you have to produce a fake ID in order to be able to actually go and get medical services from an abortion care provider or an ultrasound provider or a fertility clinic or whatever.
Okay. Gosh. Hold up. Let me
Anyway.
just.
It makes it extra hard when all the Planned Parenthoods in LA are closed on Sundays.
A little bit hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can save you some of the BS. He goes on a very long tirade about this old case that he's already written before, talking about how he represented a website called dirty.com, and the person who was suing dirty.com said tried to sue him for defamation, but she couldn't sue the particular website for defamation because they're protected by Section 230 of one of the computer laws. I can't remember off the top of my head. Basically, it says that a platform cannot be held responsible for the content that a user of that platform is posting. And they Gingras lost, or they had a hung jury on the first case. They went to a second retrial. That one cited against Gingras's client. Then they got to go to appeal, and then they won on appeal. So he's holding all of his baskets on that one case and saying the factual record was on our side the entire time in this case, and we believe the factual record is on our side in this case too, so we're going to win on appeal.
That's not how that works, but okay. That's not okay. That's appeals is just for legal errors, but I don't know what that's how that's gonna fare out in.
I haven't researched the suit.
Go on.
I haven't researched the suit for the dirty.com yet, so it will be interesting to see how the progression of everything goes. But he's basically claiming that Judge Mata is ruling against him because she's either smitten by the fact that she's got a former bachelor sitting in front of her, or she's a part of the JFC cult in some way and is listening to everything in social media. That's basically what he's saying. And he can write another blog post and tell me where I'm wrong, but he's basically saying that she has been influenced by the online discussion of the case, or in some manner she had already made a predetermination of what she was doing, told that to her father, and then her father went out and said, hey, you guys should hear about this, or I heard about this case through my judge of a daughter, and boy, this case is a real circus, which is words from one person saying about a conversation they had with him.
Hearsay on hearsay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this. Oh no. So. Yeah. So just hold on. Here, just need to get. Where is it? Oh damn! I just lost it. Apologies. I had the video for it. Okay, cool. Here it is. Let's just go here, because this is 12 news, and this was
this is a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, it is getting some the case is getting a lot of attention now. Well, it's starting to get coverage outside the Sun. So I mean, I don't know why she would go to the Sun of all papers to sell this story and bring this and invite this trouble to her life. But when it's your time, I guess.
Linz, thanks. For the past year, a man previously known to the world as The Bachelor has been fighting a paternity suit here in the Valley. Last May, a woman accused Clayton Echard of getting her pregnant and then filed a suit and shared her story publicly.
Well, this month, a judge ruled in Echard's favor, and in an unprecedented ruling, she's also asked the county attorney's office to investigate the woman for possible criminal charges.
12 News journalist Bianca Bono sat down with Echard, and Bianca, you learned this is not the first time that this woman has made similar accusations.
Yeah, Mark Caribe, that's right. We've obtained court records, not only from Echard's case, but from another case out of Maricopa County. Echard was the star of season 26 of The Bachelor. He said these allegations had a tremendous impact on him, both personally and professionally, and finally, he feels a sense of relief.
Oh my gosh, okay. Yes, I love it.
It's been 2 years since Clayton Echard starred as The Bachelor. Following a breakup after the show ended, the Missouri native moved to the Valley.
It's a very active community, a melting pot of people from all over the country. I just love the entire atmosphere.
But life over the past year for this former TV star has felt more like a movie.
Either I'm dealing with one of the most craziest individuals that I've ever met, or I'm dealing with someone who's telling the truth.
In May of last year, shortly after Echard obtained his real estate license, he received a message on LinkedIn from a prospective client, Laura Owens. Their conversations turned flirtatious, and she ended up coming over to his house.
Some things happened. There was no sexual intercourse. The next day when I told her that was a mistake and this can't be anything more than what that was, she began to cry, and I realized at that point something felt off.
11 days later, Owens told Echard she was pregnant.
I couldn't believe it just because, again, what occurred that night, I said, there's no way that this actually happened.
Echard wanted to see an ultrasound, and if pregnancy was confirmed, he wanted a paternity test.
She drafted up an actual dating contract that she typed up that basically said, date me for a week, and if you do and it doesn't work out, then I'll have an abortion. But if you don't date me, I'm having this child.
Owens would ultimately tell Echard he was actually pregnant with twins, sending him this email. Here is my 100,000,000% real ultrasound video. Echard said he and his legal team would later learn the ultrasound stemmed from a years-old YouTube video.
She was doing whatever she could to get me to come back and believe her.
But Echard didn't. So in August, Owens filed a paternity suit and went public with her accusations.
It was guilty till proven innocent. Everyone online was saying, yep, this is the guy that we saw on The Bachelor. Terrible person. Makes sense, this tracks. And then professionally, I lost a lot of speaking engagements.
But it was shortly after Owens went public that Echard came to know he wasn't alone, learning of other men who also received paternity claims from Owens.
I realized that I'm not fighting for myself anymore. I'm fighting for these previous men.
Echard eventually got a paternity test, and court records show the results showed little to no fetal DNA. During a November hearing, Owens testified she had just recently seen her doctor and confirmed she was 100% pregnant and 24 weeks along. But a second paternity test weeks later again showed little to no fetal DNA. Owens then claimed she miscarried, filing a motion to dismiss her suit. But Echard's legal team wanted to continue.
Her story is just made up at this point. It's just a lie after lie after lie.
Just last week, Judge Julie Mata issuing a stunning 19-page ruling, finding Owens knowingly presented a false claim, ordering she pay Echard's legal fees. Mata went on to say Owens has a pattern of similar, if not identical, behavior and is referring her actions to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for review.
We are actually at a place now where she may face criminal prosecution, which she should because she's been doing this for almost 10 years.
This week, Owens published a blog post in response to the ruling, saying the evidence she presented was deemed meaningless by the judge. And the only reason the judge allowed the case to continue after she was no longer pregnant was because of Echard's high-profile status.
If I could press a button and go back and erase all this, would I? And the answer is no. because what I've learned through this entire process made me a person that I'm so extremely proud of.
As for Echard, he's moving forward with his career in real estate and plans to launch a men's mental health podcast. But although this legal battle is now in his rearview mirror, it's not completely out of sight. Owens' attorney says they're pursuing an appeal.
If someone is not going to back down, then I'm not going to back down either until justice is served, until this individual stops.
Wow, the story is incredible, Bianca. Unbelievable. Now that possible criminal charges are on the table, what is the Maricopa County Attorney's Office saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Spokesperson there tells me they have received the family court.
Whoops.
And at this time, the office is reviewing it to determine what steps might be taken next. No decision.
Okay, so that's first and foremost, I'm actually happy to see that to see that story being told on national now being covered on national news. But also, the most important part is the fact that that has actually included a lot of the things not included in any of her blog posts. You like a lot of the details that were in that news report. You cannot find it in her blog post. So I am very happy that Clayton had done that interview, and so we're just waiting to see. Yeah, we're just waiting to see the prosecution of this particular case. When do you think we might get an answer?
I don't think we'll get an answer for quite some time. And the unfortunate thing is that's a local news story. That's not a national news story.
Oh,
so
I thought it was national. Oh, my bad. Thank you for that.
No, you're good. It's so it's it's a local NBC affiliate, but it's not the national NBC. So it would be nice if it got to that level, but unfortunately it's not there yet. However, I think as the story kind of builds and is gaining this momentum in the traditional news media, it might eventually reach there. But the timing of it, if they try and push this national story out, it'll already be almost a month out from the ruling. So it kind of will have already passed its usefulness in that regard. But in terms of when she's going to get prosecuted, we know that an investigator has already been assigned to the case, so it's a matter of how long does it take them to identify the particular statements through the court record and any first-party sources that they have, where they'd be able to line up how many statements do they believe that she made that were perjurous, how many documents has she sent out that are fabricated, because those are the base charges, and are there any ancillary charges that they think that they can try and get her with as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Bruce from Oregon asks, how long did Gingras have to file an appeal?
So it's supposed to be 30 days post judgment that he has to file at least the notice of appeal, and then he believes that opening briefs aren't going to be until September or October. For the court ruling, what they're going to do is by July 8th, which would be a week from tomorrow, the attorney's fees need to be consolidated and presented in what's known as a China doll affidavit and submitted to the court for consideration. And then they'll have until July 28th for Gingras to respond to those requests for fees.
All right. JustJen. Yeah. JustJen. I wanna ask you here. In regards to this, have I missed anything? I'm going to go off and do my full research into all this now. Where would you say I should start, JustJen? Because again, I you guys have been doing a lot of filling in. Where would be the best place for me to start, or if someone is just watching for the first time, where would you say that they should start?
I think the best place to start is the Justice for Clayton wiki. It kind of lays out everything, and so you can kind of follow the story through that. And when you're ready for a deep dive, go to the Padlet. I'm driving right now, so I don't have the link, but the Hey Bales Padlet, the Laura Owens timeline, contains all the information from all the court cases that we have. We try to extract information and then put it along the timeline from all the court documents, or whatever source we have. So you can go in there, look up a date, and see what was said in a text or in an email on that date. It is best accessed on a computer because it's just such a large amount of information that it doesn't really load very well on a phone. Usually, I think the tablets work too, but the best place to access it would be from your computer for the Padlet. But I would say to get a rundown, those would be the two places to go.
I have added those sites. in the chat. I will also add them in the description as well. And I'm gonna say goodbye for now. I will definitely bring you guys back, because I can already predict another article coming tomorrow, as well as Wednesday and Friday. But please, Laura, please stop writing articles. I need to catch up myself. I cannot be doing any more co-reads. This is embarrassing for me. Because I can't speak on, but I will say this, Laura, if you are watching, obviously, my mind has not been taken over by the Clayton cult yet. So if you do want to talk, which I doubt you would, because I'm going to invite you here, and then you're going to be treated like you might even rage quit like Karen did the other time. So, but if you are watching, don't send cease and desist. Send a request to talk instead. I will have you on if you want that. I'm joking. She ain't that stupid. But yeah, I appreciate every single one of you for joining me, and for, of course, providing a lot of the background into this case. I do, it is a very, very important one, because, like I said in the previous stream, that people like this don't get prosecuted, and they do know what they're doing, especially for the fact that she went through family court, most importantly, to even try and get this case. You know what I mean? Like in regards to Clayton Echard. So thank you so much for all that you guys are doing. Keep up the good work. And yeah, I'll just close off on that one. JustJen, Big Johnson, and IT Goatee, thank you again. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Chris Jenner, Kimmy, Random Girl, so many of you were here today. Bruce from Oregon, Roy, Lossinger, IB 0093, Jane Jones. If I missed out anyone, I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for tuning in, Joanna, as well. Thank you so much for utilizing the chat. I appreciate every single one of you. But yeah, have a great evening. Take care of yourself. And the Cash App is in the description if you guys wanna. Feeling generous, I'll be happy to receive something, anything. Anyway, but yeah, thank you so much once again, guys.